A bomb attack targeting one of Russia's top commanders, Moscow exploiting the migrant crisis in Spain, and Donald Trump changing his mind about Patriot missiles licensed for Kiev. And to discuss it all and possibly more, we're joined by Ivana Stradner, a research fellow at the Foundation for Defense of Democracies. Good evening.
Good evening.
So let's begin with last night's explosion in Moscow. Well, allegedly the Russian commander of Air Force or Airspace Forces was the target. Now, how does it resonate in Russia? And do you think the elites are scared?
So actually, this morning when I opened the Russian media, it was very interesting how they were reporting about this attack. They officially didn't accuse anyone of this attack, nor anyone actually has claimed this attack. So they are basically already pushing in the information space, not officially, but through unofficial resources, already accusing the West and Ukraine behind this. As you can imagine, they're using their influencers to push for those narratives. But to put that aside, this is also very bad news for Moscow because it actually exposes Russian weakness that they are not able to protect. We already, as you mentioned, we already don't know official sources about this. But the way that they're reporting also about this is to claim, how Russia actually tried to prevent this from this woman entering the place, et cetera, et cetera. So this is really not a good news for Putin. And I can already tell that there are a lot of Russians very much dissatisfied with the system inside. Some of them are not upset about Putin's not being able to claim the victory, not being able to, basically they're upset that he's not able to claim the victory in Ukraine. So things inside Russia are really going downhill. And when you combine this with a going downhill economy, Putin's regime is really not strong right now. So this attack is just one more adding fuel to the fire when it comes to discontent. But make no mistake, I have no doubt that in the coming days, there will be massive campaign inside Russia accusing Ukraine and the Western intelligence.
Exactly. Now, do you think that in the end, Putin will use this bombing to try to mobilize Russians against Ukraine once more?
You're absolutely right. If history is an indication, we already saw in the past with other assassinations inside Russia, how Putin actually used that as a leverage. And I already see that they're already setting informational conditions about this. They're already claiming how the CIA, MI6 and Mossad, are three main actors along with Ukraine. And these are not coming from official sources, but from their media. And make no mistake, in the coming days, as I said, in the history is an indication, they will use that to mobilize the far-right groups, again claiming how the West is bringing war, through sabotage activities inside Russia. So be prepared for this propaganda campaign in the coming hours or days.
Right, so Vladimir Putin has his propaganda, but that's just one side of the coin. Let's flip it. Russia is suffering due to these constant Ukrainian attacks on its energy infrastructure. It's suffering of fuel shortages, and now there are, on top of that, attacks targeting Wildberries logistics centers. So do you think this can lead to mass satisfaction with Putin's recent rule?
So you're absolutely right that Ukraine actually brought a war to the doors of Moscow and Saint Petersburg and other big cities. And that doesn't look good for Putin because he loves to be portrayed as a strong man and as a strong leader who can protect his population. But he cannot because Ukraine, through drone technology and other technologies, actually brought this war to the steps of Russia. And that doesn't look yet good. Second thing is, as you mentioned, there are fuel shortages and the economy is not doing well. So combined with this latest bomb attack, this will definitely, cause some trouble, inside Russia. I don't want to be one of those analysts who are going to claim, there might be like a color revolution inside Russia because people are dissatisfied, because the Russian intelligence actually has been working very, very hard to make sure that protests do not happen. But what I'm going to argue is that, make no mistake, more discontent is on the horizon, especially, given the economy. And as I said, some of the Russians are not upset that Putin is waging this brutal war in Ukraine because of some legal or moral reasons. They're upset because Putin is not winning. And they're already seeing the effects of this war to their daily lives. For example, economy is not doing well. There are fuel shortages, and Putin is doing also everything possible to completely control the internet with numerous internet outages over the past few months. But that tells you that regime is brittle and that regime is actually weak, because a leader who is securing his power doesn't fear people with access to Wi-Fi who have something to say.
Right. Talking about a different leader, Donald Trump seems to have changed his mind about a Patriot license for Ukraine. Why do you think?
I would actually take a deep breath, because President Trump can say one thing today, something else tomorrow. And he was very, very open to provide, technology for Ukraine when it comes to Patriot system. And we're going to see what's going to happen in the coming weeks or days. Maybe the logic why he currently stated something like that is because look, words are cheap. And maybe he also thinks, by not talking about this, that will actually make Putin, stop this war or not to escalate. But here's the thing. Putin is going to do whatever he wants to do, regardless of what the U.S. is doing and saying. And having said that, what I observed over the past few days with Zelensky asking the West to provide Patriot system, because that's extremely important. Without Patriot system, Ukraine really struggles to defend itself. And that emboldens Putin to launch massive attacks against Ukraine because it cannot defend itself. And now the ultimate question is, why should President Trump actually care about this? If it's a faraway country that has nothing to do with the United States, several reasons. Number one, Russia, Iran, China, and North Korea are working together. Number two, Russia has not been the US ally, and it will not be our ally for a very long time. The third thing is, we already know that Russia has been waging horrible sabotage activities against numerous European countries, including Poland, where you are right now. And I would absolutely not exclude such attacks to continue. Mm-hmm. If we do not want Putin to challenge NATO below the threshold of war and challenging Article 5, we need to stop him. And that's precisely why providing Patriot systems right now is a step in the right direction. Putin is never going to like the United States, but he should definitely respect Washington. And the only way that he can respect Washington is if the White House shows power, not weakness.
Ivana Stradner, Research Fellow at the Foundation for Defense of Democracies, was our guest this evening. Thank you very much. It was a pleasure as always.
Thank you.
And thank you for watching. That would be all we've prepared for today. So let me wish you a fantastic week and see you soon back here on TVP World.